did that? Who announced their fucking Twitter? Oh, Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis was worse.
Yeah.
He was doing campaign rallies while he was president. I know, right? I was the greatest president. Why? What could name a policy you signed? I don't know. I called into Fox and Friends a lot.
This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Status quo. He's threatening the progressive
RFK
status quo.
Too. That's
so Trump,
awesome.
one of the big things with him is he's a hand grenade.
Yeah.
His job was to be thrown in, shake things up, expose the swamp, do those types of things. Nobody had expectations that Trump was going to be a great reformer. That wasn't his job. His job was revenge. He was revenge of the American public. That's exactly what we put him in there to do. And that's exactly what he was doing. That's why he has such a great base, is because we wanted things shaken up as much as we possibly could. The return.
Isn't that a bit nihilistic?
I mean, no, it's not nihilistic.
Well, I would
that's
say
what
he had a
Michael Moore was.
Solid, stable base, if that's what we're talking about. It's voter base.
I mean, yeah, but to call them anything but a cult is kind of.
Well, what did he tell him on Jan 6? You're very special. Michael Moore. Yeah, like seriously, talk about irrelevant.
Yeah.
We get more action out of Michael Moore than anyone else, though.
One who progressive Michael Moore.
He nailed it.
Is the one who explained this. He said Donald Trump is a hand grenade, and the working class
human Molotov cocktail.
The working class is throwing him in because they're so pissed off and they're so jarred by this progressive garbage. Donald Trump is true. He's a little bit towards LGBTQ, but it seems like it's posturing. It seems like it's posturing towards it rather than anything really too substantive. Whereas Biden's filling his administration with these people. Under the Biden administration, we had gay sex going on. And so these Capitol buildings,
RFK.
and they're just like,
RFK,
I got to pause you there. I'm not sure it's a new thing.
Literally fucking hosted his own debate where he was on a stage that looked like CNN stage with Trump and Biden on the wall in the background, and he just acted like he was part of the debate.
Bro, that is pathetic.
So let me send you that real quick. I forgot about that.
We need that.
The thing is I don't really want to listen to RFK for too long.
No, I do not wish that upon anybody.
I mean, maybe
there's less gay sex in the Democratic Party than the Republican Party. Sorry, I won't say more.
Bro, you'll never believe this. You will never believe this. Oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, RFK already cut it up all into digestible under 3-minute clips on his channel.
Amazing.
Now, if this is the debate, I assume it is. Wait until you see who the moderator is for him. You are going to shit your pants, bro. Just throw that on. Raw dog it. Throw it right on what I just sent.
CNN has somehow found a child care crisis in America. Somehow Americans raised children for years. Now there's a crisis because it costs too much. Is that something government did or can fix?
Well, the reason there's a crisis is because the economy with the middle class is gone. So in order to pay for a home, you need 2 jobs or 3 jobs.
RFK's rival debate viewed by 9 million people.
4 jobs between the couples. A couple used to be when you and I were growing up, mom stayed at home or a parent stayed at home and took care of the kids. That doesn't happen anymore. Now, both parents, in order to hold on to that home, need to be working. So we do have a child care crisis in this
Stop
country.
running back and forth across the stage. I want to actually hear what you're saying.
Both these men
both of these men doing it. Sounds like
American fuck, I want RFK's hands.
Offering anyway.
All right, you got to pay for it, baby. Just like he pays for his ads, you know,
John,
in the rear with the gear.
37% of income.
Nothing about this man.
A single child
is real.
Oh, and nobody can afford that.
Pay for all of it.
What I'm going to do I'm going to wind down.
Literal
I'm
spoiler
gonna balance our budget, which is what President Trump promised to do. But I'm actually going to do it because why does this exist?
Why should I believe
if
you?
We
Who the
don't
fuck
have
are
the
you?
courage to do that, no matter what the cuts are.
What have you done for
we
me
have
lately?
To do that, or we are going to cease to exist as an influential nation. And I'm going to. But we cannot cut our way out of this debt. We have to build new industry. We have to build GDP.
Wow,
and one
it
of the
really
most
was.
efficient ways of
Biden's
building
EV
GDP is through childcare, through guaranteed childcare.
Childcare.
There's a 22 times return on investment. As I said, every $1 million we spend on military weapons creates 2 jobs. Every $1 million we spend on childcare creates 22 jobs.
I can't find like the
and
whole
we need
video.
to grow
I saw one where
our
he's
way
literally in front of a
out of this
screen,
budget.
but maybe it was like only on
Yes.
Twitter or something stupid.
And one of the ways we're going to do that is by providing
So if anyone's
childcare,
got
by
that, DM it to me on Twitter.
taking away $500 billion from the military.
Back to the CNN debate.
Okay, so they keep going back to the debate, and then he would interject, I guess.
Yeah, I think that seems to be how it works. Yeah, I'm gonna let this play, and I need to piss.
So that's a kind of typified progressive talking point too, right? That so many of the Republicans are just actual undercover gays. It's like,
I know it's because Jack doesn't pause.
And
Like
on
he's
top of that, I
supposed
would
Not
to.
the voters, but absolutely the staffers. But in
not even the stat. The Democrats are still worse.
it's kind
on
of a
this.
joke too.
Too
Let's
busy
not
playing
get caught
with
up
his
in that.
cell phone.
I think it was about a year ago during our last Gay Pride, month-long celebration, when he invited some transgendered women to the White House lawn, and they were, partying around. Right. But this is my point. This is an encapsulation of my point. So she took off her shirt and flaunted her breast. And that was just a little bit too far, because what Biden is trying to do, and I think it's kind of ultimately impossible, what he is trying to do is to integrate these forces into American institutions in order to manage them. And if you go cross that line, if she had just partied around and whatever, that's okay. You get naked, you're starting to offend the American public.
Wouldn't that be progress?
Disciplined?
Wouldn't that be progress?
Well,
if you're integrating all of these external degenerate factors in so that you can manage them better inside of that would be the definitionally what I would think a progressive would do, not a conservative.
I fucking hate these
So
people.
even by your logic, you say this is a conservation of the status quo. Then you give it.
I think this is the second person who said it, so I guess so. I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
Remember yesterday when you're like, we got to be better about pausing, and this time during the stream, I'm just going to be on my phone the whole time, so I never pause. Remember when you just said that?
Look, I got distracted on a similar topic.
I'm going to break your phone.
Just an example of how he's breaking the status quo.
He disciplined them for going too far. Is my fundamental.
Yeah, but you also claim they're integrating this. So if they're integrating it, that would be progress, not conservatism.
I really just don't like when people.
I don't think it is.
That's the second person who
People choose these words that give them these benefits, like progress. It's degress or regress.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can only go off of his definition.
I get it. I'm not saying either of you are right or wrong.
I didn't even know who
one
Richard
function
Spencer
of
was, because that whole saga was when I didn't live in this country.
Yes.
Yep, it is Richard Spencer. There you go.
Wow. Oh my God.
Culture War with Tim Pool. He's been trying to rebrand for like 2 years. Yeah, because it's like not cool anymore. Like we had Charlottesville. I mean, they basically sent all the real bad Nazis to die in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right. So like their base is dead.
Mm.
Who's watching them now? Cowards.
leftist political strategy is to use.
You call that music? You call that music? It sounds like, you know what it sounds like to me?
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Use words that will always.
I can't. Fuck me.
Why does he?
You spent all that time running defense for the Nazi shooter, and here you are talking to Richard fucking Spencer. Good fucking lord.
Well, he's already had like
always make them
he
sound.
already had like I'll give Tim full credit. He did at least stand up to Kanye with the overt anti-Semitism, right? There was that, right? That happened.
I guess.
Good, like progress, like we are advancing.
Right.
I personally, in my opinion, I don't see this as an advancement. I see it as a degradation.
Yeah, I would. Oh, I would too. But I'm just saying, if the idea that Biden is a conservative because he's kind of maintaining the status quo of what's going on, and then immediately we get an example.
This comment right here. This comment right here. Let me tell you. This is a comment that would only come from account named TJ Dad Jeans. I know what you're talking about. I'm old enough, but I don't check. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Good lord.
Bro, he literally went to a pool party with the beanie. It was so fucking funny. He's with Roger Stone, I think, where he also is like at a wedding or something, and he has the fucking beanie on at a classy event.
So funny.
Of how no, he's
these guys are just like Fox News. They don't say anything.
Effectively sovereign states.
Yeah.
Civil War changed everything. And I'm trying to pinpoint a time in the United States where there wasn't a rapid shift and change. And
no.
Okay, hang on.
Honestly, we have these periods. We have the Revolutionary period, which is again, there's no nation state. We're just beholden to the crown. We break free from it over this 20-year period. We then get 80 or so years of expansion into the West, new states forming new territories, which leads to the Civil War.
Okay,
and this
ready?
transforms
Here we go.
This weak.
I can't possibly have babies because of climate change.
Right. Which is nonsense.
No.
But I do think it's crazy that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. Because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is though? It's definitely not me. I think it's everybody else.
Hey, Glissy. It's so funny because you can see where the physics are attached, and it makes it kind of look like a dildo at the top because that's where the physics are attached on it.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Republic, like
no, he's not relevant. We're laughing at him.
The weak federal
was
union
never relevant.
Sovereign states into a solid nation for the first time. The famous saying being, pre-Civil War, it was the United.
My favorite thing that Tim Pool does is reference his own news website. That's my favorite.
You paused right when I was interested in what he had to say.
States are, and post-Civil War, the United States is.
Right.
Of sovereign states into a solid nation for the first time. The famous saying being, pre-Civil War, it was the United States are, and post-Civil War, the United States is.
Right.
Then you get about 60 or so years until you get this militaristic expansionism internationally with, you get the Federal Reserve and central banking, a dramatic change.
Tim?
And so...
Here's the spiral.
Tim? Let me just do a quick little history check real quick, okay? Oh, okay, crazy. This did happen. Wow, would you believe it? Who would have thunk that the United States was literally having imperial wars in Africa the moment it was founded, Tim. What the fuck are you talking about? That didn't magically happen after World War II. It always was. Fucking, how do you think the fucking War of Mexico happened, Tim? Fucking moron. Literally, the United States' entire history is expansionism. Fucking idiot.
I think it's a good point. I'm not saying I actually still.
This is
my view would be that Trump is a stabilizing force for America in this decline, in a way that restores our vision of what things need to be.
It's literally
if anything, the only person who can say it declined underneath was Obama, and it was not because of Obama, but because we allow dumb shit like gambling on people's mortgages.
How they were better before. But I do think it's interesting, the point you're making, that Biden is an agent of the United States, is a strung together hodgepodge that must be strung together at all costs.
It was such a fucking Putin thing to do, right? Because like he literally, like, we went to him and we gave them the most lowball offer for the territory we wanted, like Texas and shit, right? Like it was the lowest ball that like there is no way in hell Mexico could realistically say yes to it. Because it would make them lose money because they're losing out on like land that they're farming and stuff for surpluses. So they made sure of that beforehand, and then they could say, "Well, we tried to be reasonable. Time to kill you."
Right.
Hey, it's our Italian friend.
Not that I agree with his definitions.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, I understand that, and I think.
Have you seen the submarines the U.S. has? You know, they're already making better ones. They have one released. You know,
like the U.S. just released.
They're still producing the last generation of submarines.
Like, I mean, look at the Air Force. Look at the planes. The F-22. Never been used in combat, already being replaced. That's how much dick the Americans have.
And its replacement. The thing is that
see, same wavelength.
The thing is that like the F-22
killed balloons.
It was like, think about when it was designed, and it's still
80s.
You know, but it actually, when did it actually get fielded though? It was the 90s when it got fielded. Right. And like
80s design,
and already it was unnecessary.
Yep.
But what's funny is that as unnecessary as the F-22 is, I guess, you know, it did give us it's like, you know, it's the tech branch that you need to hit that you don't care about, like the infestation pit before you go to hive tech.
Yes.
So
that's such a perfect analogy for the F-22. It was the stealth jumping point that you don't really give a shit about, but you need to get to the next one.
yeah. Well, it's like, why is the hive tech locked behind the fucking infestation pit? Like, not once have I produced a unit that comes from the infestation pit. Not once. And I always forget I need to put it down, and I go to tech up to hive, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't place my infestation pit down. Anyway.
Yeah. 26 years ago. 97.
But the F-35 actually has like a purpose and is practical today, unlike the F-22 was. The F-35 is not like miles ahead in technology. Its
introduction was 2005.
What?
And they stopped producing
them.
In 2011 they stopped producing them.
But like the F-35 just being a platform to like Jack and I were talking about this, is the Eurofighter. At the end of the day, the Eurofighter is going to be just as good as the role that the F-35 is being built for. And for like how much less of a price.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's again over-engineered. Although the fact that they did make like 3 of them and specializing in roles and stuff, because it's not like the Eurofighter tech isn't going to be compatible. Like the British are going to be able to use the F-35s on their carriers and be able to launch those Eurofighters.
Theoretically,
drones. Do you know what the operational efficiency? See, the thing is that it doesn't matter because these planes are only going to be used in a scenario where they're not being hit anyway, and they're going to be command platforms for the drones. So all these drones are going to be in command from the Eurofighter platform. So all the Eurofighter needs to do is stay in the air. So I guess the F-35, because it has some stealth capabilities, it has a little bit of the edge to be that platform for everything to be controlled and launched from. But
also, the F-35's helmet is like top. I showed you the helmet. It's like top tech. It's like,
and you'll need it. You'll need it. You'll need to have,
like,
and there'll be probably a new helmet once they start integrating all this shit.
Yeah. So it'll be
because you about fascists. That's true. You know, they do have that Hitler Youth haircut. You know.
In 2016, there was a sort of another Trump. I mean, you mentioned yourself he did all of the.
The F-35 helmet was the $400,000 one. The F-22 one, I don't think is as advanced.
LGBTQ stuff, and like
it could be the same helmet. Yes.
Yes, it would be wonderful if
he did some pandering.
If it if it drag queens at Miss Universe,
I'm not thrilled about
that guy
the pandering there,
right? Spencer. I thought it was the guy in the hat, but I'm like trying. No, it's the guy because it's the other guy because I know because I'm thinking of the video that the only thing I know about Richard Spencer is that he got punched in the face in that video.
Yes, that's the only video I've seen and the only one that I care about.
Drag queens at Miss Universe.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about the pandering there, right? But there's a big distinction to be made.
What's interesting in 2015 and 2016, he was a sort
I don't know if they could have surpassed the U.S., but they could have taken an alternate course.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?